Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast. My name is Amir. Before I get into the episode today, just want to thank everybody for following the podcast on Apple or Spotify. Also want to thank those who have subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you guys are watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm on my path to 2,000 subscribers, so it would mean a lot. So there's a new rumor out there that the Golden State Warriors potentially could be interested in Jimmy Butler if he does request to trade or if the Miami Heat are willing to trade Jimmy Butler. So we all know that Jimmy Butler's contract extension is looming. He's eligible for a 2-year extension worth over $110 million, and he will be eligible on July 7th. He mentioned he wants to re-sign essentially and extend with the Miami Heat, and he wants the actual max. It doesn't seem like he wants to negotiate for less. He thinks he deserves it. And Pat Riley mentioned that they're not ready to talk this offseason necessarily. He's under contract for one more year, then has a player option. And so the organization said that we could revisit this and take a wait and see approach essentially and see how Jimmy performs next year, how many games he's going to actually play since he's been missing 20 plus games every season since he's been with the Miami Heat the past 5 years. So where there's smoke, there typically is fire. So there have been rumors out there that, again, other teams are going to be interested in Jimmy Butler if there is a breakup with the Miami Heat. And so we don't know what Jimmy Butler's team is going to say. Let's say July 7th comes around. Miami Heat says we're going to wait till next year to make this extension. We don't know how Jimmy Butler and Bernie Lee are going to react to this. They could potentially get disgruntled and request a trade, perhaps. Not entirely sure. The Miami Heat can see that also a lot of teams are saying that they're interested in providing Jimmy a max. Sixers have said they'll give him a max. 2 unknown teams said they potentially would give Jimmy Butler a max. So Miami, their front office can say, hey, we're done with the Jimmy Butler build. We can get a good return right now for Jimmy Butler, whether it's players, whether it's just picks. We could just unload his contract, get some cap space, or get some young up-and-coming players to join the Miami Heat and build around Bam Adebayo, possibly Tyler Hero, and then Nikola Jovic and Jaime Jaquez Jr. So who knows what's going to happen. But either way, Warriors insider Anthony Slater said he expects the Warriors to show interest in Jimmy Butler. He said, we discussed some of the Warriors' options on our offensive preview podcast. 2 quick situations of note. If Brandon Ingram hits the trade market, I would not expect the Warriors to show interest. If the Heat shop Jimmy Butler, I would expect the Warriors to enter the conversation to at least some degree. Jimmy Butler, I think going to the Warriors would be super interesting. One of my buddies, Rory, said that he would definitely want Jimmy Butler to be on this team, but at what cost? So pairing Jimmy Butler with Steph Curry, with Draymond Green, possibly Klay Thompson if they do re-sign him. He is going to be a free agent this offseason. And having young players around him like Brandon, I don't even know how to say his last name, Podziemski, Trace Jackson Davis, and players like that could help revive the Warriors' ability to compete in the West, even though the West is obviously very competitive now. But I don't see it happening, honestly. The Warriors would have to give up far too much. I don't know what their draft capital looks like, but in order to make the contracts and the salaries match, Jimmy's making 48 next year. And so in order for that to happen, I mean, the first piece that we would want to acquire from them is obviously Jonathan Kuminga. He's making around $7.6 million. He's 22 years old. He's a versatile power forward, and he had a really good season last year when he was finally inserted in the starting lineup. And he has a lot of potential. He's super young, and he would be that perfect 4 for the Miami Heat next to Bam Adebayo. He's developing his 3-point shot. He's obviously very athletic, explosive. So I would love to have him as the centerpiece, but he's only making $7.6 million. So looking at the rest of the roster, in order to make this happen, we would have to then acquire Andrew Wiggins, who's 29 years old still. He's kind of fallen back, I guess, in the past year or so since he had his dynamic performance in the playoff run where they won the championship. He was one of the best players on the team, obviously behind Steph Curry and Draymond. And he had a rough season last year. I think he only averaged like 13 points per game. So he is making $26 million. So you would have to add him in, but you're still really short. So you have Gary Payton Jr., who is under contract next year under a player option for $9 million. You're still not there. You need $5-6 million more. You would have to throw in 22-year-old shooting guard Moses Moody. So are the Warriors willing to give up their future? They've had a blended build like the Miami Heat, where they had Steph, Clay, Draymond, Wiggins, and then they had their two young studs, Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga, who are 22 years old, also developing, getting more time and experience. So are they willing for one more run with Steph Curry to add Jimmy Butler by adding him, who is a very clutch, amazing two-way player that would definitely help this team for their future, essentially, which is Wiggins, Gary Payton, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody? I would take that, honestly, for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is going to be 35. He wants a max extension. Not sure if the Warriors can afford it or would do that, but getting Moody in your front or backcourt with a Terry Rozier, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, that's interesting. Getting Jonathan Kuminga to play next to Bam, that's super interesting. Having Wiggins as your your wing 3 and D player at the 3 could be interesting. So, not sure there's any chance of this happening, but I would entertain it, honestly. I don't think Warrior fans would for that much, but who knows? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Would you guys be willing to trade Jimmy Butler to the Warriors if they were indeed interested for the pieces that I just mentioned? Thanks for watching.